Hello students, in topic 3 and 4, you looked at some of the commonly used basic features and advanced features of Microsoft Word, and in topic 5, you're going to look at how to produce a digital document in Microsoft Word. So once you've designed or prepared your Word document, you need to print it, but it is recommended to view your document before you actually print it to save some of your resources and your time, obviously. I will show you how to do the printing. So you go to File and then you see Print option. So you click on that. Here, when you print, you can see the preview in this space. So this is how your document will look um, after printing. And here you can change number of copies you want. So for the time being, I just leave it to 1. And here you choose which printer you want the document to be printed. And under settings, you can choose whether you want to print all pages or just print the current page. And you can also choose print one-sided or both-sided. And you can do collation as well. And this is very important. People usually forget it. So you usually change whether you want to print it in portrait, orientation, or landscape. So you can choose it from here. And here you can choose the paper size, whether it's letter or A4 or A3. And here you can choose the margins you want for your document. So you can go narrow or moderate. And again, you can do 1 pages per sheet or 2 pages per sheet. If you want more advanced options, you go to page setup. And here also you can choose the orientation, portrait or landscape. You can choose book fold or 2 pages per sheet. And you can also apply this setup to the whole document or from this point forward. And you can adjust the margins here. And if you go to paper, you choose whatever paper size you want. And obviously the layout here. So you click OK, or you can just go to default option, then you print it. This is how we print a document. And there is more to it when after you've prepared your digital document. That is how to name your document and how to store this document based on your employee's requirements without losing it. So after all that hard work, you don't want to lose your work. So it's better you name and store or save your document somewhere safe, and it should meet your employer requirements. And also, you have peace of mind when you close your work. You know it's saved somewhere else and you can easily find it. And there are 2 things when you think about storing a document. So there are so many, number 1, there are so many places you can save your digital document. So we have online clouds, like Google Drive or OneDrive, and you can also save it in external devices like external hard drive or USB, or even you can save it in H drive or your local drive, but you name it in, you save it in specific folders. And also there are a lot of security features that you can use to save your document. For example, some people use a password to open the document without the can't really see what's in it. Okay. So let's look at authorized access. Like I said before, some documents you need to have a password to open it. So this security system applies to most of the business documents because it has highly sensitive and confidential information. So only certain people can view this document, and they need to have a specific authorization rights to view it. And some of the examples of these kind of documents, for example, client files, like the medical files, and some research and development documents, and financial accounts like tax papers, financial planning documents, and employee records as well. So, like I said before, authorized access means you need a username and a password to open these documents, and others definitely can't access these documents, and they are only allowed for specific people with authorization rights. The next thing you need to think about is how to name your file so you can easily find out. Some people, they don't know how to name a document. They just randomly choose a file name. After a while, they forget what their file name is and they just can't retrieve their document or they cannot remember the file name. So most of the organizations, they do have a specific file naming systems for their digital documents. And they're the methods used in filing to help everybody else in the company to identify the type of file and get the file to the proper folder. So these file naming conventions need to be consistent across the organization, and it should be easily predictable. So these naming conventions can be effective. That means the filing system needs to be set up in such a way that the same name conventions are used across the entire organization. You can easily identify what type of document that is just by looking at the file type. For example, .doc means it's a Word document, and likewise, if you see a file with .jpeg, that means it's an image file or a picture file. Then we looked at how to save the file, how to print a file, then we looked at how to save a file, and we looked at the file naming conventions. Now we look at the filing locations. So you can store them in electronic folders, and it is very important to save the files in proper locations. So, for example, if you leave the company and others need to know where to look for that file, so they don't need to rely on you. So when saving files on the computer, they are saved in specific folders, and these folders obviously have names which allow users to identify where to save a particular document. For example, if the folder name is validation, then obviously all the validation related documents are stored in there. And you can have a main folder, and then underneath you have subfolders. For example, where validation can be your main folder. Under validation, you can have a subfolder called meeting. So all the meeting minutes will go in there, and then you can have a So after validation, the feedback and all the validation paperwork gets filed in this subfolder. So here is another example. So your cover letter is stored under desktop, that's your main folder. Under desktop you have my career subfolder, and then the subfolder has another subfolder called resume, and in this folder we have the document cover letter. So this is how you navigate your folders to get the right file you want. And we're going to look at how to back up files. Most of the organizations they have a policy to back up that files just in case if their system breaks down, so they don't lose any of their work. And it's very important for a business if they are running it for commercial purposes. And paperwork and documents relating to business activities, clients and customers, suppliers, and pieces of legislation and the industry, they're all important to the successful running of a business. So you really need to have a backup for these kind of documents. They need to be kept safe and easily accessible, and they have certain procedures in place how to store files and have them backed up in another storage. Most of the companies these days, they have their backups in cloud storage, so they don't need to rely on their external storage devices. And if you save them or back up them in cloud storages, you can access these files from anywhere in the world. Again, security is very important if you are saving it in cloud storage or backing them up. So you need to have authorization rights to only certain people in the organization so they can access it when they need it. The security measures can be password protected documents or read-only documents. So only readers can read the document, but they can't edit it. And restricted access to certain document storage areas. So you can even restrict the storage place where you save all your important documents. And alarm systems. So if somebody is trying to access your document, then you get a notification in your, nowadays people use smartphones, so usually they get a notification in their smart devices saying somebody is trying to access your storage. Could you please verify if that's you? Then if you say yes in your smart device, it will let you go and access those files. If you say no, they will get rejected. And this is very important. When you prepare or design a digital document, it's very important you do that within the time frame set by your company. And also, it's very important for the delivery, for the document delivery. So we have a job timeline and also organizational timeline. Say you're working for an external client, say you're preparing a planning map for the residential area, and you need to have a specific timeline so you can deliver that digital document to the client. But when you agree to these timelines, you need to be very careful. You can't give them a short timeline because you need to have a quality. You need to do a quality work without errors, and also you don't want to make your clients to wait, or you don't want to disappoint your clients for giving them a poor or improper work. So the wise thing to do is to allow yourself enough time to complete the task efficiently and safely, rather than just giving a short time frame where in most cases you just leave the client waiting for the work. And more some circumstances delays are unexpected. So in those circumstances you just need to communicate with the client and explain the reason, and most of the time they will accept it. And the timeline agreed with your supervisor. Supervisors also can give you timelines, but again, it's you agreeing those time frames with your supervisor based on your workload. So you need to give yourself enough time to complete the task effectively, so you don't need to make too many errors in your document. That's what this section is about. So, completing tasks in their entirety can be very time consuming, and depending on the nature of the task, many people may have an active responsibility in its job completion. The last thing we are going to look at in this topic is how to use the help function if you have any issues when you produce a document or design a document in Microsoft Word. I don't know how many people use this help tab in Microsoft Word for assistance. Most of the time we just go to Google and ask for help. But it's a good practice to use the help tab as much as possible when you are designing a document in Microsoft Word. If you go to the help tab, you will see a search bar, and this is where you would type what you're looking for or what you want help on. Then the Microsoft Word itself will give you some recommended solutions, and in order to for these help functions to work effectively, you need to have an internet access. So, in summary, text documents are most used type of documents in any kind of business, and there are different ways of understanding how to best use computer functions too. The best way is to practice using them first before you begin to develop a task with this tool. And text document programs like Microsoft Word, they have a variety of functions that allows users to create a document that meets organizational and task requirements. And thank you to the Precision Group for preparing this presentation.